Hello, SLA. Honey, are you watching Mari? Girl, let me tell you, Shanika Johnson is on that. You know Shanika Johnson, she went to high school with us. You know, the girl who used to put her tracks in the bathroom? Like she would glue them in before class? Yeah. Yes, that is her girl. She's Omari. She's trying to find out who her third baby daddy is. Let me tell you. And I know she hope it is not Junebug because, honey, let me tell you, Junebug has a court date next month. And I think Junebug is going to be living rent-free for the next 10 years. So she don't want it to be Junebug. Uh-oh, he got the envelope, girl. He about to tell her. Girl, what you mean you can't get a signal? Look, I told you you need to stop being so cheap and get some cable or a satellite or something. Even if you got to get the hookup and get the bootleg cable. Because look, going on the roof to like adjust the antenna like that is just ridiculous. It is like the new millennium. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you what, Maurice. Okay, in the case of 11-month-old Africa China Johnson. Junebug, you are not the father. Oh my God, I know that Shanika is so happy. Junebug is not the daddy. That means like Greg is like Africa's daddy. I tell you, Shanika is lucky. You know, scratch that. Shanika is like blessed. Because let me tell you, Greg is a good guy. He's decent, you know. He has like 3 jobs and like he take care of his responsibilities. So she needs to be up in church praising God next week. I'm telling you. What you mean, what do I know about church? Honey, let me tell you. Mercedes Bentley Lincoln. Honey, I rededicated my life last year. Girl, I'm a member of the Greater Tabernacle Fellowship Cup of Salvation Church of God in Christ. I might not go every Sunday, but hey, I know that I am my father's daughter. Girl, you know how you think I'm a baller. I know I'm a Show. I am Angela Ray, and today I am honored to have first-time author Angela Bailey. She is the author of I Am My Father's Daughter. Welcome, Angela. So, tell me how this journey came to be. I am my father's daughter, discovering my true identity. This is a memoir, correct?
Yes.
So this is your story.
It is my story. However, I use fictional characters so that I can make sure that I bring the full story into fruition, because I didn't want to leave out anything, but at the same time I didn't want to, expose anyone mainly other than myself.
Okay, so she kept it kind of anonymous. So if you reading it and you think it's you, it's probably not. It's probably not. She made it fictional. Okay, so first-time author.
Yes.
And I know a little bit about your story. We'll talk a little bit about what your journey is. But definitely you've overcome quite a few challenges, things that, may have caused some women to check into an insane asylum, take their own lives, all of that stuff. But you overcame. But there are a lot of people who have stories like yours but don't have the courage to share their journeys. What gave you that courage to share your journey?
One of the things that I feel that the enemy try to do is isolate us.
Okay.
And when the enemy isolates you, there's a lot of self-destruction, because you're constantly condemning yourself. You're constantly your self-esteem is constantly, low. So there are a lot of things that kept me from moving forward and being the person that I know God wanted me to be. So in order for me to walk in the destiny and the purpose that God wanted, I feel that I needed to actually, share it. And hopefully that will allow other women to feel the courage, or the inspiration to come forward and share theirs as well.
Okay. So, your journey in terms of the time you started the book until you actually got it published was 9 months. I remember you talking about it. 9 months. She gave birth, and this was the baby right here. That was the baby.
Yes.
And so, talk about the journey. I've written 3 books, but everybody's journey is different.
Right.
Talk about your journey writing your book.
Okay, again, for years I suppressed a lot of things. So many things have happened to me over the years, but when you talk about the journey, you just have to know for sure that this is what you're gonna follow through to the end.
Okay.
You don't want to keep starting and stopping. And I did that a couple of times, and even in that, I felt like a failure because I didn't, pursue something that I knew that was on the inside. So at the end of last year, I just really, really prayed, and our church is always doing a 21-day fast at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband and I, we just came together and really prayed and asked God, to give us, clear direction, and He did. And once I got God's stamp of approval, then He just put the words in my mouth.
Wow.
So once God gave me the words to say and the order into which to say it, it just flowed. It flowed. So trusting God is key. Trusting God and knowing that He will direct your path. I'm a Christian, so it may be someone that's listening that is not a Christian, but at the same time, if you know in your heart that you have a story to tell and that it's going to help someone else, by all means, I encourage you to tell your story. Everyone has an audience. My audience may not be your audience, but everyone has an audience and everyone has a story.
Awesome. Now, I am my father's daughter. That, and when you talk about true identity, explain what you mean by that.
You're not living in someone else's shadow. Because as a child, I longed to know who my father was. And because of an incident, a bad incident that happened to me physically, that put me in, proximity with my natural father, where I was able to, kind of get to know him a little bit better. But he did not want the same thing that I wanted. I wanted to know him, but he didn't have the time. So at a young age, I really didn't know who I was. I didn't know. So because of that, I kind of felt a little rejection. And that rejection just caused me, throughout the years, my young teenage years and young, adult years, to just make some really bad choices, in relationships, and, still trying to fill a void that only God could fill. And I did not know that until I had just constantly made mistake after mistake after mistake. And those mistakes, unbeknowing, led me to my true Father. God is our real Father, and He wants us to have that personal relationship with Him. And once I discovered who I was in Him, then I didn't need anything or anyone else to validate my identity.
So, how can they get a copy of your book if they'd like to get a copy?
They can go online to Xulon Press, that's XULON Press.com, or they can go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
What was that light switch for you that prompted you to be like, okay, I know I have the story, now I have the courage to share it?
Well, coming from the world and then into the church and giving my life to Christ, even though I was going to church, I was still, wearing that shame, wearing that guilt, wearing, that heaviness. So I wore a mask for a long time. And, whether it was singing in the choir or whatever the case, I just wore that mask because I did not feel that I was, I could be accepted if I took that mask off. So
even in the church, you didn't feel like you could be accepted.
Yes,
wow.
Absolutely. But God would not allow us to stay where we are. If you really want deliverance and you want to be free, that means you have to be free from people. Free from how you think others look at you. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to please everybody.
Right.
But we should always strive to please God. So I wanted so much to have that relationship, that genuine, authentic relationship with Christ. And in order to be authentic with Him, we have to be authentic with ourselves. And that means taking that mask off, with, we may be rejected by others. They may, feel like what we've done is too shameful. That's their problem.
Right.
That's their problem. It's not our problem. So the scripture said, who the Son sets free is free indeed. God said that we are free in Him. And we were free when Jesus died on the cross, not when we decide we want to be free. He's already paid the price for our freedom. We just have to walk in it. So I encourage all women, regardless of what you've done, God already knows. He already knew it. So just surrender. So I would say surrender to Him. Take the mask off. Be authentic with Him. because that's the way that's that oil. It's going to be painful at times, but that's that oil that will come forth, and then people will really be able to receive what you have to say. Real, no real. We say that all the time. Jesus was as real as it gets. He was real with that Samaritan woman at the well. He allowed her to be real with him. He was real with that woman who was caught in adultery. He was real with that woman when she broke that alabaster box. God is forgiving God, and he wants to forgive. He's already forgiven. A lot of times we just won't forgive ourselves. So that's the other thing I would say. Forgive yourself. You can't change the past.
Right.
Look forward.
Right.
And allow God to, to heal, bring healing. And when God bring healing, then you will be able to catapult. You will be able to go and just pursue the things that God has already placed inside of you to do.
So take that mask off and
Take that
forgive
mask
yourself.
off. Forgive yourself. Be authentic. Be genuine. There are enough hypocrites and fake people out there. People want to know that you really care and that you're listening and that you hear where they're coming from. You're not there to judge them, but you're there to be in partnership with them, because we're a family. Be in partnership with them and let them know it's okay. God's got your back.
All right. I am my father's daughter, author Angela Bailey. You can find the book on Zulon Press as well as on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here on the Angela Ray Show, Angela.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.